Hi, my name is Susan Reid and we're here at King Arthur Flour, and I'd really like to show you this recipe for cranberry-orange scones. They're a perfect treat for breakfast on a holiday. You can make them in advance, and now I'll show you how. We're going to start with some white whole wheat flour, which I should explain a little bit. We're going to make this as a whole grain recipe. You can certainly make this with all-purpose flour if you like, but our white whole wheat flour is 100% whole grain. It has the bran, it has the germ. So if you're going to have a treat, it's nice to make it a little more healthy. It's not bleached, it's not GMO. It is just a different color of wheat berry, a white wheat berry that has a little bit of a sweeter flavor than a traditional whole wheat. So we're going to start with 1 3/4 cups of white whole wheat, and that is going to get 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to put a little bit of allspice in here. Allspice is a great little flavor. You don't quite know what it is. It's a nice background note for the other flavors that are going to go into this scone. So that's going to get added right here. And I'm just going to mix this up a little bit to get things distributed. And now I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to mix this in pretty thoroughly, more than I would for a pie dough. By moving the butter all around throughout the dough, it's going to make it nice and tender. So my handy little tool here is going to break this up into smaller pieces. Doesn't take very long. You can do this with 2 knives. You can do it with your fingers if you want to. I'm just going to make sure any really big lumps are taken out of here. Okay, that's about right. 1 or 2 little lumps is fine. Do a little dry wash here, just wipe everything off. Now I'm going to add, for flavor, some orange zest. We absolutely love orange zest. Terrific smell, terrific flavor. So this is a zester, and this is designed to take just the very outer edge off of the orange. And since I don't want to leave any of this behind, I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup of dried cranberries. I'm just going to use a cranberry here to pick up any zest that's left over, because I don't want the good stuff to be left behind. So in go the cranberries. And that is all of our dry ingredients. Ready to go. Now we're going to combine the wet ingredients. We have 1 egg broken in here, and we're going to add 1/3 cup of 1/2 and 1/2, and a tablespoon of orange juice. Orange juice is great with whole wheat because it helps to cancel out the flavor of the bran. You don't really know that it's there. It's a nice little secret. So now that I have all this mixed up, this is all mixed up now. And I'm just going to pour it right into my mixture and use the handy Danish dough whisk to mix it all together. This is something that you want to make evenly moist. There we go. Now at this point, you can turn it out onto your baking sheet and pat it into a disc, but I'm going to show you a little trick for making them nice and round. This is an 8-inch cake pan, and I've just lined it with some plastic wrap. And I'm going to pat the dough right into it. Now this dough may seem a little bit wet, but that's what a dough should look like if you're using whole grains. Whole grains need a little bit more moisture, and they need a little bit more time. By doing that, the bran in the dough will soak up the water, and then you won't quite notice that it's gritty or grainy. That's why we've got a little bit of a wet dough going on here. I'm going to take a little flour on my hands because obviously it's sticking. I'm just going to pat the dough into a circle. And this amount of dough is going to give me an 8-inch round that's just about an inch thick. You don't have to take this step, but it really makes the scones look a lot nicer. Now, right about this point, if you want to get ahead for the holidays, you can make the dough to this point, leave it right in this pan, wrap it up and freeze it. And then when you have company or if you have unexpected guests, you can pull the dough out of the freezer, cut it into wedges, and while the oven is heating, put it on your baking sheet, get it ready to go, and out of nowhere, you've got a really nice treat. But we're going to bake it all the way through right now, so we have this set up. I have a baking sheet with parchment paper on it. Now I have a nice round circle. Now this dough, as we saw before, is a little bit sticky, so I'm going to cut it in wedges. But I'm going to put a little spray on this so the dough won't stick. I'm just going to cut it into 8 wedges. Now we want to separate these. We're going to pull them back from the center just a little bit. Otherwise, they're all going to bake back into one large round. So just going to back them up a little bit. Good. And since we are thinking about company, we're going to dress these up. We'll put a little jewelry on top. I'm going to brush the tops of these with a little beaten egg. You can just use a little more milk or cream. Any of those will do. One of my favorite little gadgets. Just going to brush the top. And then we're going to sprinkle the top with some coarse sparkling sugar, which really, really makes anything look much dressier. These will be baked in a hot oven, 425 degrees, for 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. So they're very quick to bake. If you want to make them ahead and have them on hand, it's a simple thing that you can do to really impress your company. And when they're done, we'll see what they look like. And here they are, ready for their close-up. These are the Cranberry-Orange Scones made with white whole wheat that are perfectly yummy and terrific for the holidays. I hope you like them.